So that's it for Samus. Next, I want to screw around with Lucario. Did I do Lucario? No, I did not. So I'm going to do Lucario. Oops. So Lucario is a bit slow unless you dash him. His jumping is alright, I guess. Now, I believe most of his grabs are just pushes. Now, Lucario's major attribute is that the more damage he has, the more damage he'll deal. So I don't know if I can set my damage. For all fighters, here we go. So, for example, if I set him... First of all, it alters his appearance, but if I set him to 0, you can see how his aura is around his hands. You know, nothing major. If I set it to 999, which is pretty much unrealistically reachable in the game, you can see it visibly manifest around him. So, for instance, at this level, by the way, any attack is basically a guaranteed launcher. You can barely even see them fly at that point. But at this level, he deals enough raw damage, as you can see, whereas if he was just 0, would barely do anything, launches. So, on average, I'd say around... You gotta scroll it for a little bit. On average, I'd estimate that at about 100, you know, he does a lot of damage. So, see, most of his moves become basic launchers. I believe his throw might kill. Oh, no, not there. Try back throwing, see? Well, I just stepped off, but... Oh, I couldn't make it. Wow, okay. That screwed me up. Now, the other thing that he does is, as his moves also alter, so I believe his Force Palm can go farther the more damage he has. His recovery move, Extreme Speed, I think, has a farther range, as you can see, but I imagine that at too high of a damage threshold, you will actually launch yourself off the stage from one end of the stage to the other. Let's see. I'm curious. Oh, no. Okay, so it caps out at a certain point. So as you can see, you will launch yourself too far, potentially, and off the stage. And his Force Palm becomes ridiculous at this. Basically guaranteed KO. But that's not realistic damage, so... In a fight, I don't expect a fight to go on so long that you don't get launched off and you end up with 999. His up throw, his throw up. I believe his down throw is pretty good, if I remember. Yeah, it's basically like an up throw, except I think a little more damage to it. Maybe, I don't know. I have to see. No, it actually does less, but it creates knockback, so that can be good or bad. Basically, once he reaches 100, Lucario can really easily KO a fighter with no worries, as you can see. And just generally, the higher that he gets, the more damage he does. So he's not the kind of guy... He's the kind of character you want to knock out pretty early. You know, the less damage he has, the better, because the longer he stays out, the easier he can KO you, but the easier he can be KO'd. So he's high risk, high reward in that matter. So now, like the Mewtwo clone that he kind of was, Lucario has a charge move. It's Aura Sphere, although not Shadow Ball, as you can see. Now, like all the other charge moves, like Sheik and Samus and Robin and all the other characters, you can cancel it and hold it by tapping the stick left or right. It looks a bit more powerful. It will KO. He actually has a counter. As you can see, there's kind of like speed lines that appear in front of him. I believe whenever he has those in front of him, that's when his counter is, but he's left vulnerable if it doesn't hit anything. So he's kind of like Greninja in that regard. So let's see if I can set him to attack. He died. If I can set him to attack, I can probably see... I could probably try to counter it. Like that. Homes in on the person. And, other than that, what's his dash A is a drop kick, which is pretty good. I do like it. Now, his side A is pretty short range, but I actually like it because it's somewhat of a launcher. Can I bounce on this by any chance? Yeah, I can. Okay. He can wall hang, too, by the way. I actually should figure out what characters can cling to walls. But that will be something else for another time. I have to find a stage where that's easy to do. His down is a kick. His up is kind of like a swipe upward. Okay, it's pretty good. I did not know that it was that good. So now, if I were to up this even higher, I want to see exactly to what degree his attacks change. So his forward throw becomes a bit more knockback. I need to get Pac-Man away. I want to try and back throw him from that ledge. There you go. Probably a kill. Very easy. That's a kill. I want to know at what level does his down throw become an instant kill from above. And it's not 150. But at this range, most of his moves are basically launchers, and from the edge will probably kill. So let's see if it's 175. Getting there. By the way, Lucario can probably reach 200, at least 180 if you're careful, because he's pretty heavy to KO. He's pretty, you would expect him to be light. He's actually not that light, I would say. He's not too heavy, but not too light either. Alright, so it's not 200. This is kind of getting into the unrealistic range, I feel. Almost. Almost, so it's probably 250. Let's see. Nope. 250 is not enough to KO someone upwards. Try again, just in case. Alright, so let's see. We gotta go higher. Nope. 270. There you go. 270, you will KO someone with that. And let's see his special, because I don't think I've seen it yet. Alright, so for this, I should probably reset myself. Did that reset us back? No, I didn't. Hold on. I thought that would reset the damage counter, so I wouldn't have to scroll through it. Yeah, I wish they changed the way you could do the damage counter. It looks like you have to scroll mandatorily through each number instead of jumping after a certain point. There you go. So for his special, and before it was some different move. Let's see what it is now. Oh, he Mega Evolves. Okay. So that might change his attributes even slightly more. Basically, it looks like he got a transformation special instead of what he used to have. I'm not sure exactly to what degree that actually changes most of his stats. But yeah, because Lucario got a Mega Evolution in X and Y, basically any of the Pokemon that have Mega Evolutions in this game do Mega Evolve. So at higher damage, I imagine that must make Lucario absolutely devastating. So I will try that actually. Just going to go to 100. 100 is about the benchmark. 100 to 150 for Lucario, I feel. Well, that's cool because you can actually like screw around with him because his damage makes changes things too. Yeah, it looks like it makes his attributes just slightly more. As you can see, the extreme speed really took him off the stage. Alright, so that's about it for Lucario, I think.